What's going on, gents? It's R.P.M. here, coming at you with another episode of Hockey Mask Time. Now, before I get started, let us bow our heads and recite the HMT motto, shall we? A man can only take so much disrespect before he finally decides today's the day. Gentlemen, I'm pretty sure you may have seen something regarding this particular article that I'm going to cover. Oh yeah, this was definitely a family affair. Jay White, Argonunya, and Squeaker made sure that this particular article came across my desk. And yeah, gentlemen, it is a massive barn burner based on the individuals involved. Now, I got the updated article, or the most recent article, that was published on the 27th of February. And gentlemen, I'm going to be using my own specific term when it comes to HMT. Ex-husband and relatives charged with offlining of Hong Kong model as more body parts are found. That's right, gentlemen. I'm using the term offlining along with termination. Now, of course, most people will use the terms delete. So if anybody starts using the term offlining when it comes to someone getting taken out, you know where they got it from. Now, let me just go ahead and say this right here. Woo! Abby Choi's ex-husband, Alex Kwong, his father, and his brother were formally charged with termination of the model on Sunday. Kwong's mother was charged with perverting the course of justice. As usual, the female in any sort of criminal case gets a lesser charge. So much for this thing called equality. I find it ironic. Equality is never put on the table when it comes to criminal cases involving women. But that's another topic for another time. Police also said they had arrested a fourth person and added a fifth to the list of suspects involved in the termination of 28-year-old Choi, whose partial remains were discovered inside of a refrigerator on Friday. The announcement came after police conducted a search of a house in a rural village near the town of Tai Po and the cemetery in Suong Kwan O, where more body parts suspected to belong to Choi were discovered. A skull, hair, and several ribs were found inside a large pot inside the house. The contents were taken for forensic testing to determine if they belonged to Choi. The officer said there was a small hole at the back of the skull, which they believed was evidence of a quote-unquote fatal attack on the victim. Gentlemen, this family went straight mafia, and in their case, since they're Chinese, triad style. Straight up dismemberment, yeah, they turned her into chop suey, literally. Why? Because if you look even deeper into the case, yeah, the head was found actually inside the pot along with vegetables. Yeah, they went all out on this woman. Police now guard a home where remains suspected to belong to the Hong Kong model were found. Police believed she was attacked inside of a van, which had been taken in as evidence, then taken inside the house. Kwong was arrested at a Hong Kong pier on Saturday after what police described as a failed attempt to flee by speedboat. He was allegedly carrying 500,000 Hong Kong dollars and about $4 million worth of luxury watches. Choi, the mother of 2 young children, was well known as a model and a social media influencer with more than 100,000 followers. Police told media that Choi had financial disputes over tens of millions of Hong Kong dollars with Kwong and his family. Well, that sounds like a perfect motive to put on the mask. Financial disrespect. Superintendent Alec Chung said the investigation has been hampered by the uncooperativeness of the arrested suspects. Quote unquote, we want to find out as much as we can, not just to convict the terminators, the offliners, if you will, but to give an answer to the deceased's family and return justice to the deceased, Chung said. Choi's torso and hands are still missing. Other limbs suspected to belong to Choi were earlier found in a refrigerator in a Long May Swin apartment, about 10 kilometers from the Tai Po house. Talk about 6 degrees of separation. Quote unquote, we're still working on many clues, Chuang said. Quote unquote, when we have any other clues, we will do a thorough search again to find the torso and other missing parts of the body. Judge Peonai Wong denied bail for the accused on Monday and adjourned the case until May, pending further investigations. Well. Financial disrespect. Money. That is one hell of a motive to actually put on the mask. And the fact that it was a family affair, they said millions of Hong Kong dollars. That is a massive sum. But the fact that they had kids together. Now, I don't know, maybe it's possible that he might have been made to pay some sort of child support. I don't particularly know the ins and outs of child support in Hong Kong, but that might be not a deciding factor, but a piece of the puzzle. Just my thought. Anyway, let's get to that scorecard, shall we? For location. Sounds like the initial attack went down inside of a van. Gotta give that a 5. Method of execution. A small hole at the back of the skull, which obviously meant a blunt instrument. So I'm going to give that one a 15 and go with the hammer of harm. Psychological impact. Okay, she was a legitimate model. She had a legitimate social media presence. Of course, I looked around and there's been so much social media buzz about her, so many condolence tweets and all that stuff. So I think I'm justified in giving the psychological impact a score of 65. And for the brutality factor. Up close, personal, back of the skull, bludgeon. You know I'm going to give that one a 15. So the killer Kwongs get a score of 100. Yeah, I think we can pretty much agree on that. Now, the issue of financial disrespect. Financial disputes over millions of Hong Kong dollars. Now, with her being a legitimate model, what does that come with? That's right, gentlemen, a massive ego and a massive sense of entitlement. We can only guesstimate that more than likely, with huge sums of money being fought over, somebody was probably spending a whole lot than they should have been spending. And I'm just going to have to point the finger at the woman. Why? She has the bigger present, which means she has to have what? The bigger entitlement issue. She has to spend more money to look the way she looks. Yes, she was on the cover of a big magazine, so obviously, hey, she's going to have an entitlement and princess complex. Maybe behind the scenes, she was spending them into bankruptcy, and they finally decided, you know what? Nah, we're going to have to take this matter into our own hands, which is what they did. Well, I've rambled on long enough. Read the article. Read more articles regarding this particular putting on of the mask. Let me know what you guys think. And women of the world, it does not matter what your station in life is. This woman was a model, but guess what? She still managed to push her ex-husband and his family over their line. So yeah, they decided that once she became the financial bane of their life, they decided to take actions and take matters into their own hands. And then, guess what she found out? The power she thought she had as a model and a social media influence had gone out. Feminism and the idea that her status would keep her protected went out right along with it. And let me reiterate, she became the financial bane of this family's life. So they decided, yeah, they were going to put on the mask and do what needs to be done. Hey, it is what it is. That's all I got to say for this one. R.P.M. I am out.
Murder on my mind, yeah. Losing all my hope, yeah. I'ma do the crime, yeah. Fuck the red or blue, I'ma take the black pill, yeah. Fuck the red or blue, I'ma take the black pill.